Hello everybody, welcome back to the Central Otago Railway. My name's Scott, the owner, builder of the layout. Welcome back for the January 2025 update, and we get to the video and I'll show you what I've been doing on the layout since my last video, so stay tuned. Okay, so the big one here is I ballasted the yard and I went through, painted up the track and weathered up the track to what I wanted to, and then just put everything in a light grey ballast. And the ballast still has to be weathered in bits and pieces yet. So I've been busy doing that. And also over in Alexandra, I've been started on the Fulton Hogan asphalt plant. So I've basically just started to do that. That's going to be weathered. So that's kept me a bit busy. Now also, if you looked carefully, there was the track over here, the far track, and this track here have not been ballasted yet. Because for the simple reason, this building over here, which will be Central Foods, still has to be finished and painted before I actually ballast up underneath the doors there. So that'll be one of the industries, Central Foods, and that's also what I've been busy doing. I'll go into detail about that later. But also over here will be Clyde cartage in this track over here. So I'm still waiting on a Walters kit that... It's a public holiday here in Australia at the moment. It's Australia Day, so none of the shops are open. So I'll wait till tomorrow. I've got to get a Walters kit for the Clyde cartage industry I'm going to have over here. So that's why I've done away with ballasting those two tracks in the meantime. Okay, so here we are. I'm just going to talk a little bit about this building. This building I scratch built a couple of days ago. And it is, as I was saying before, Central Foods. It's going to accept wagons of fruit and bits and pieces from various orchards around the district there. So it still has to have the roller doors put into the gaps over there. And I've just got it sitting there at the meantime against the back seam. I've got the blue tack just holding it back in the meantime. And yeah, I'll get it all painted up. And it should look pretty good, and it could be an interesting industry to switch. So more on that later as we head on. Okay, and a little something else I've been working on is these, I believe that's Samson posts, the old style buffer stops. So I had a look through, did a little bit of research and on how these were constructed. And so yeah, I've built up a couple of them. You probably would have seen one over at Central Foods. And I've got a couple here. That third track at the top of the screen there, that's actually a loco. That's actually part of the loco depot, so I'm not going to put one there. But these two tracks that these posts are on, they're actually head shunts. And so I needed someone there. So I reckon they turned out pretty well, considering they're scratch built. And I'm hoping that they're going to do justice. They have small brass nails inserted into the base of them which sink down into the sleepers, and they've been glued in place, so they should hold. So I'm going to be looking at doing a few more of those around certain parts of the layout. Okay, so here we are on the other side of the layout room here, and this is a place that I've finally made up my mind. It's going to be called Alexandra. Now, Alexandra is only geographically about 5 or 6 kilometres out of Clyde, south of Clyde. South-east. So that makes it an ideal destination for a small switching layout for the room that I have. This looks absolutely nothing like Alexandra did back in the day, but that's the joy of modeller's license. You can, you build it your way. So basically what I have here, as the train leaves Clyde over the other side there, the first corner it comes out of Clyde, it splits into two tracks. And those two tracks come in, these two tracks, and they come in and they converge into this track. And it's basically like a one sort of big runaround track, basically. And I have here, I've got this track coming off here. This is going to be central distribution. Now this is going to be taking various freight wagons, bits and pieces. That can take box wagons, and it can take LAs, NCs, timber, anything really for that one. The track over here, this is going to be the apple and pear board. Alexandra did have an apple and pear board siding there, so that's going to be taking fruit over to Central Foods and back, the scratch built industry I showed you just before. So This here is going to be fruit wagons and bits and pieces from the Apple and Pear board. This track here is basically like a head shunt, or a back shunt, and that'll be basically used for my Fulton asphalt plant that I mentioned earlier. That's going to be taking in LAs, LCs of gravel, stone, and also I've got a bitumen tank car. It's going to be taking loads of that as well. The track, as it curves around, you see this curve point, and it sort of curves around here just behind my locos, and there's going to be some more industries over there. I'm not entirely too sure what I'm going to be doing over there. It's basically a dumping ground for my locomotives and rolling stock while I've been ballasting Clyde Yard. None of this track is tacked down at the moment. I am thinking, as these two tracks converge into one, I'm going to use this as a head shunt, because I can access the Fulton siding because I've got a double slip here. I don't need to use this. So I'm thinking maybe, a little bit strange, but it could be an interchange or a 10 track. Wagons from maybe, I could say, Ranfurly or something, where they could be put onto the team track or interchange track, basically to simulate connection with the outside world. But I'm not too sure yet, so we'll just see as we go along. And we're basically I'm sort of happy with the way it is now, with how it's going to be switched out. The industries on here that I've sort of come up with will help the industries at Clyde, so there'll be a fair amount of switching, which is the whole point of the layout. So I'm very happy with how that's going, and we'll move on. Okay, so here's another shot of the Fulton asphalt plant. Now this has been built up from a Walters kit, HO. So it's a little bit small, but a bit of modeller's license. There's a ladder that's meant to go up one of the silos there, but being HO, it's a little bit too small, so I've done away with the ladder. I've sort of just kept the handrails at the top there, and it's come along pretty well. I've sort of got it in the old school, tried to match the old school Fulton that old greeny bluish sort of colour. This thing has yet to be weathered yet, and bits and pieces, and I still need to get, I'm looking at maybe like a dump truck or something that can go under there that's going to get asphalt. But I think I'm going to have to scratch build a batching tower as well, the little cubicle room the operators sit in when they operate the plant. And just over the back there, I'm not too sure if you can see it, I've got my gravel loading bins over the back that sort of have to be added in the scene there somehow. But I'm very happy how that's turned out, and it's going to be an interesting industry on the layout. So stay tuned with that, and I'll let you know how the progress goes on that. Okay, so as I said before, leaving the Alexandria yard there, those two lines, they split and they come around and they join together there where that rake of wagons are, and from there it sort of goes around into Clyde, as I showed you before. And then basically just in the foreground, as I said, that's just a dumping ground. I've got a couple of locomotives sitting there, and the track that comes off the curved turnout there comes around and it ends just there in the meantime. But I'm thinking I'm going to put another industry or something in here. I'm thinking maybe sort of like a scrap yard or something, or some sort of industry that was around Clyde, Alexandra in the 80s. But yeah, that's as far as I've sort of got in the meantime. I have my two DJs sitting there because I was testing another locomotive on the track there, and I was ballasting Clyde Yard, so I didn't want to get any glue or ballast anywhere near these locomotives, so that's why they're sitting over there. But that's as far as I've sort of got in the meantime. It's all the electrics are done on it now. All the hookup wires and bits and pieces are done on it now. So it's basically a whole lot of testing, and bits and pieces. The Clyde locomotive shed too has actually come along pretty well. I've done the concrete on the inside, and there's a couple of inspection pits on the inside there, and still got a little bit to touch ups here and there to do, but I'm quite happy how that's turned out. The way the track plan is, I know the Clyde loco shed had a central pillar where that yellow beam is, but just given the space that I have, I didn't have the area to model that, so I know the doors were yellowish, so that central pole there is sort of doing it justice for what I want to do. But yeah, no, I'm very happy with that going, and I want to eventually add an interior to that and some lights, but that'll be later on down the track. Okay, so that's basically what has been happening around the Central Otago Railway in the last 3 to 4 weeks since I posted my last video. You've now seen what I've been working on, what's upcoming, bits and pieces. When I do eventually get some more supplies, I will post up the Central Foods building as I paint it and bits and pieces. But thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos. There'll be plenty more upcoming videos with my the layout build. Hit the like button. Hey, if there's anything you want to know, jump into the comments section there. Ask anything you want. Also, please, if you've got a bit of time, jump over to my brother's channel. He is on the Willow Creek Industrial Spur. He runs HO American switching layout. So I'll put the link in the description on this video here. So please take the time to go and visit, see what he's been up to. But until the next video, everyone, please stay safe, look after each other, look after yourself, and I want to see you all back here healthy and safe and well for my next video. So until then, everyone, thank you so much and stay safe. See you on the next one.